Welcome to my, this box is so big. Welcome to my Keylab Essential Mark III unboxing and first impressions video. While I show you the full scale of the box here, I'll say that Arturia did send me this MIDI controller. However, they did not even ask me to make a video about it, nor did they pay me anything. They simply reached out and asked if I'd like to take a look at the new Mark III Keylab Essential controller, and I said yes. And the reason I said yes is because a couple years ago I actually reached out to Arturia and asked if I could take a look at the Mark II version of this keyboard. This is actually the 49 key. They sent me the 61 key back then, and I absolutely loved it, and it's kind of been my main at-the-computer controller ever since. So yeah, when they offered to send me the Mark III, the upgraded model, the new one, I said, yeah, absolutely. And I decided to do a video on it because, well, that's kind of what I do here, is I make YouTube videos. So this is a MIDI controller. Right off the bat, we're going to start with that. It is a MIDI controller. That means this keyboard itself does not make any sounds. This keyboard is for controlling both hardware synthesizers via MIDI and software instruments and synthesizers and your DAW and everything at the computer via MIDI over USB. Okay, gonna get that out of the way right now. This does not make sounds. It's a MIDI controller. It just controls other things that make sounds. This time around, I believe we have a 49 key version, which is this one here, and there's also a 61 key version. The 49 key version, this one retails for right around the same price, I believe, as the old one, $219 US, $219 US, and then the 61 key, I believe, is $269 US. Yeah, just double checked. Yep, those are the prices. Much like the previous model, it comes with a bunch of software, Ableton Live Lite, as well as Analog Lab 5, which is this wonderful collection of presets from Arturia's V Collection software, which basically digitally recreates some of the most famous synthesizers and most used synthesizers and electronic instruments in history. So you do get a ton of those presets with the Analog Lab software. Comes with a lot of other software too. We'll probably delve into that a little bit. I've actually done a video about Analog Lab in the past. I really like it because I'm kind of a presets guy. Yeah. Let's dig into the actual instrument and check out what's new here. I am definitely not equipped to handle boxes this big. Probably gonna speed this part up in post. All right, that was a struggle. Here is the keyboard itself. Look at that, free snacks. Gotta love that. Get this kind of positioned on camera here. I'm going to slide it this way because we'll start over here. Let's see. We've got a little envelope here. I'm guessing this is going to be... Yep, installing your free software bundle. Here we go. Let's just look at this right now. So we get Analog Lab 5 included, get instant access to over 2,000 synth and keyboard sounds in a single streamlined plugin, perfectly integrated with your Keylab Essential. Okay, Ableton Live Lite, which is a stripped-down version of Ableton Live, which is the DAW I use. I actually used Ableton Live Lite as my main DAW for years, until just upgrading late last year to the full version. Native Instruments, The Gentleman. I'm not familiar with that. State-of-the-art sample-based recreation of a classic upright piano. Cool. UV Model D. I actually use this plugin all the time. It's a Steinway Model D grand piano. Sounds absolutely beautiful. I love that plugin. Loop Cloud one-shots and samples. 2-month subscription. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Melodic subscription and lessons. Not super into that as well, but if you are, that's really cool. Looks like it's an app that adapts to your abilities and musical taste to help you get better at playing pad controllers, keys, and electronic drums. And on the back of this is a number to activate all that free software. So yeah, cool. Analog Lab and Ableton Live Lite, in my opinion, are the two big wins software-wise. Oh, that's nice. Take out these little rubber... Oh, it's a big long thing here. There we go. Cool. All right, so here's the controller itself. It looks a lot more modern, I think, than the Mark II. Yeah, definitely. Keys feel just about the same. They're not weighted or semi-weighted, but at this price, really aren't expecting that. We got a new main wheel here that we can click in, as well as a new larger display and 4 contextual buttons under that. So that's really cool. We can directly interact with stuff on the screen with those buttons. I know I said we'd start on the left, but we'll start over here on the right. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 endless encoders. Oh, these feel way nicer than the old ones. And we've got 9 faders. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're labeled to 9. I could have just counted 9 faders. Those feel good as well. Yeah. Nice and smooth. Nice action. Cool. All these buttons here are soft touch, and they should light up. At least they're certainly colored like they'll light up. Yeah, we've got that main wheel there. We'll leave the screen protector on there right now. that'll probably trigger some folks out there. Here's our stop button, our play button, record, tap tempo. Then we've got some other transport controls here, metronome on and off, save, quantize. Oh. That's cool. Quantize, undo, and redo. So the redo button is new. I also noticed there's a couple buttons here that I skipped. We've got program and part. Then we've got hold, chord, scale, and arpeggiator. Now the arpeggiator is brand new for the Keylab Essential series, and I'm really happy to have it on board. Like I said, I work in Ableton, and there is an arpeggiator built in there, but it was always kind of a hassle to, drag that onto the track I was working with and set everything up there. Really nice to just have it built in right here on the keyboard itself. Which also means we can use this with hardware to arpeggiate hardware. And I believe there's some cool stuff you can do with the chord, scale, and arpeggio modes. We'll definitely get into that as well. All right, then over here we've got our 8 pads, and these feel different. These feel quite a bit stiffer than the last generation of pads on the Mark IIs. Yeah, we'll have to see how these do once we fire it up with the computer or maybe another piece of hardware. Who knows? Then we have MIDI channel here. We have bank. We can actually change the bank of pads, transpose up and down, and octave up and down. Cool. Then we have our pitch bend here, as well as a modulation wheel. Flipping it around to the back. Wow, look at that. The I/O is in the middle of the keyboard this time. That's neat. We have a USB-C port instead of Type B. So yeah, we're finally with USB-C. That is really cool. Gotta love it. USB-C. Come on, manufacturers. So many of you have gotten there. Just a few more. We need to get on the USB-C wagon. 5-pin MIDI out. Also a big thumbs up from me. Love to see 5-pin MIDI out on there. Not the biggest fan of 3.5 millimeter. So 5-pin here really just, gives us a lot of flexibility using this as a controller, which it is. And then we have control here. I believe that's a multi-jack for like sustain and damper pedals. I just have a basic sustain pedal, so that's what I'll use mine with. They also include this. This is a Type C cable to Type A. However, look at the Type C end. It is 90 degrees, and it is branded with the Arturia logo right there. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera. And it is branded with the Arturia logo there. Hopefully you can see that on camera. That's super cool. This is a swaggy looking cable, actually. A little short. It's like a 3-footer, I think. I personally prefer a little bit longer cables, but 3 feet should be good for most folks. You can always use an extender as well. Cool. Let's power this thing on and see what happens. All right, here we go. Cool, look at that. Now, as I do have the keyboard a little bit early from Arturia, I do believe I need to upgrade the firmware, so I will be doing that very soon, but let's just take a peek here at what happens when we push our pads. Yeah, look at everything's like lit up and colored. Super cool. Pads look great. Our MIDI channel and bank and transpose or transport buttons over here look good. Nice. So because this is a MIDI keyboard, before we can go any further, we do need to control something via MIDI. And since this is a video about an Arturia product, why don't we control a different Arturia product? This is the MicroFreak here. Now, of course, the MicroFreak does have its own keyboard and all that, but we're playing with the Keylab Essential today. So all the sounds you hear in this video are going to be from the MicroFreak that I'm controlling just via 5-pin MIDI, okay? Okay, so good news. It works as a MIDI controller. Nice. I want to dig into the arpeggiator right away, though, because that's what I'm most excited about. Well, and chord and scale mode. So arpeggiator on, long press to edit. Okay, so right away we have an arpeggiator. Long press to edit. Oh, this is great. These 4 buttons here, I can already tell are going to be a game changer because they're going to allow us to actually accurately interact with the parameters on the screen. So we can turn the wheel here, or we can edit parameters. We can go to another page, or we can go back. Okay, that is amazing. Let's see here. Random for mode. Nice. Division. Let's go 16th. Gate, we'll keep it as is. We can scroll to the next step here. What does the edit button do? Oh, I see. It just actually lets us edit. We could have swing, rate, sync, and octave. Let's go to octave. Okay. Hold. Amazing. Perfect. I can already tell this is going to be a very heavily used button for me. I use a lot of arpeggios in my music, and it was always a hassle, like I said, in Ableton to drag the arpeggio or the arpeggiator onto a MIDI track and then set all the settings in there to just have everything available via hardware right in front of me. So much better. Yeah, this is awesome. And hold is right there. Great. Okay. Let's turn off the arpeggiator. Chord mode. Let's try that. Chord mode on, and it said major triad. Okay, so we just have major triads on the keyboard here. Okay. Long press to edit. Create chord or release. User and preset. Oh, okay. Suspended fourth, major 7. Always a beautiful chord. Minor 7. Major 9, minor 9th. Major 11. Minor 11th, very underrated extension. And user. Okay. For user, long press to change. There we go. Just basic D7 there. Cool. Okay, I'm going to turn off chord mode. What is scale mode? C chromatic. Oh, long press to change. C sharp chromatic. Oh, type. Okay. C sharp major, C sharp minor. Let's go root, actually. We'll set it to D. How about that? D sharp minor. So this is one of those things where you can't play a wrong note. We're going to stay on harmonic minor. Okay, now let's turn on chord mode. Okay, yes. It actually quantizes the notes in the chords to the scale that you have enabled. That is super cool. That is really going to enable folks who maybe don't have a ton of music theory knowledge to explore some different chord progressions and work outside their comfort zone a little bit. I've recently talked about how powerful that kind of tool is. I've been using the Roland J6 to do that, but now you're going to have that ability baked into a MIDI controller, which is really, really cool. Does it work with the arpeggiator too? Yes, it does. That is super neat. Wow. Obviously, that was a pretty bad demonstration there. I'm just kind of hitting random stuff and exploring. So clearly the creative features are here, which I'm a big fan of. I really, really like that. And it's something I think that the earlier Keylab Essential series was missing. So I'm really, really glad to see this section here. And I'm really, really glad to see how these 3 different buttons, well, I guess the fourth one too, hold. I'm glad to see the 4 of these interacting. That's really going to, like I said, enable a lot of folks to make a lot more more complex music. Okay, so now it's time to test the drum pads, and as you can see, I have swapped the Microfreak out for the sample track here, just controlling it via 5-pin MIDI. I've got a drum track pulled up on there, and we're set to channel 10, which should be where these pads are set to. Now we do have 2 banks, and it looks like we can swap through them just by pressing the bank button. I'm going to keep it on bank A for now, though, because I believe that should be these sounds right here. So let's give this a shot. Yeah, got it right. Okay, well, I do think I like these better than the pads on the Mark II. One thing I really like, though, if you watch the main screen here, it actually shows you the velocity of which you're hitting the pad. And I do believe I should be able to edit that in the MIDI Control Center software as well. The velocity sensitivity of the pads, I'll probably wind up adjusting it because I hit pads pretty hard because I am a drummer. Yeah, quite liking those. So far, I have to say I'm really enjoying the changes and upgrades between Mark II and Mark III of the Keylab Essential series. I'm not yet ready to make the call if it's worth it to upgrade if you have a Mark II and you're thinking about going up to the Mark III. Not ready to make that call yet. We're going to do another video in the very near future where we plug this into the computer and test out some of the DAW integration that Arturia's got going on. I will say if you don't have a MIDI controller and you're kind of looking for a does-it-all, this is looking like a really solid option, at least on the hardware side of things. That's what we're looking at right now. Of course, CC knobs and faders are all assignable. That's going to be dependent on the gear that you're controlling. But so far, from the hardware side, I'm really liking the new upgrades. Specifically this section right here, that chord, scale, and ARP section. Really cool stuff. Like I said, in the next couple of days, we will be taking a peek at how this works with the DAW, and then I'll probably be able to give you at least an early verdict if I think it's truly worth it to upgrade from the Mark II. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, though. Again, a thank you to Arturia for sort of blindly sending me this with no commitments required. They didn't ask me to make a video or anything. They just said, do you want one? And I've enjoyed my Mark II so much, of course I said yes. I really am excited to see what we can do with this. And one thing I didn't mention, but really quickly, this is the 49-key version. I have the 61-key version of the Mark II behind me on my computer desk. So I'm really wondering if these features here, as well as the improved pads, as well as, anything we discover working with the DAW stuff, in a couple days. I wonder if that's going to be enough to convince me that I can trade basically an octave for those features, because again, 49 key, I've got the 61 key behind me. So yeah, I'm really curious to see which one I wind up going with. I really do like these features here, though. So stick around to see if this keyboard makes the cut and kicks my Mark II to the curb. Well, not to the curb. It'll just go somewhere else in the studio. You know what I mean. I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay, too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.